Good morning, everyone. I'd like to call the meeting to order. Mr. Clerk, please call the roll.
Councilmember Cordero.
Present.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Here.
Councilmember Kiaina by video conference.
Present.
Councilmember Nishimoto. Councilmember Okimoto.
Present.
Councilmember Talba.
Here.
Councilmember Tupola. Councilmember
Excused.
Wire. Chair Waters.
Excused. Here.
Mr. Chair, 7 members are present, 2 members are absent.
Thank you. Members of the public, I'd like to apologize for the delay. There was a nationwide outage of the Zoom video conference services. Since this is a remote meeting, we're required to allow remote testimony. If we lose Zoom again and we're back up, we will allow testimony by phone. I will announce the phone number shortly so people can participate in our meeting today. But first, let's start with our Pledge of Allegiance. Councilmember Cordero, would you like to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you so much. Councilmember Cordero, would you like to introduce our guest speaker for the message of Aloha?
Thank you, Chair, and good morning, neighbors, community and colleagues. So there's a new neighbor that we have in Aiea, and that's our Aiea Halava area, and that's Reuse Hawaii. And so we have the executive director here with us, Quinn Vidum, and he's the executive director and co-founder of Reuse Hawaii. He leads a team of 35 and possibly growing amount of staff members to oversee Reuse Hawaii's core programs in deconstruction, material redistribution, and workforce development. And under his leadership, the organization continues to expand its impact by reducing waste, creating local resources, and providing meaningful employment and training opportunities. I can't wait to hear what Quinn has to share with us, and thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you, Council Member. Really appreciate the great introduction, and yeah, what an honor and a privilege and a joy to offer the message of Aloha this morning. And I, hope to relay my deep gratitude for all of you, and also a message of hope from our team and the thousands of community members that we serve. As we all know, we're faced with a pretty serious crisis around waste and landfill capacity. And thank you all for the work that you're doing to address that, along with the mayor and the various departments involved. Despite these challenges, we also have just a tremendous opportunity. We're seeing across Oahu businesses, nonprofits, organizations, government stepping up and embracing the circular economy. This is a system that is rooted in reuse and designs out waste and pollution. And so, we do this because, waste is not only an environmental issue, but it's also a social and economic one as well. So as Council Member mentioned, since we opened our new facility at Stadium Marketplace across the street from the stadium, we've welcomed 8,000 community members through the door since December. These are folks that donate building materials, lots of people that shop for sustainable and affordable building materials, some that volunteer, and all of them participate in a movement that embraces the circular economy to keep building materials out of the landfill and provide them to the community as a low-cost resource. So thank you. What I'm most excited about is in our new facility where we've built a workforce development training center. In fact, it's built pro bono by a group of incredible, generous contractors. And what we're doing is expanding our existing programs around workforce development to support folks that face barriers to employment. So these are all kinds of different people. In 2024, we served 84 workforce development participants, folks that are returning from incarceration, folks that are recovering from addiction. And then just recently, we're rolling out a cohort-based workforce development program to support folks that are coming out of homelessness. So they're folks that are living at the Kauhales. So we do all this work, and it's made possible really from the power of the community, but also because our deep belief that everyone deserves a second chance and also an opportunity to participate in building a more sustainable Hawaii. So yeah, while I just wanted to give a more gratitude to the city and county for supporting us through this grants and aid program. This funding is vital to support our programs and mission, and not only addresses waste reduction, but also helps our resiliency in terms of our economics. And also just a mahalo to the Department of Environmental Services, ENV, who's really being innovative about ways that we can partner and pilot programs to be more innovative at around reuse and recycling at county facilities, namely the transfer station. So stay tuned for more on that. So yeah, while our challenges are really real and daunting in terms of the landfill situation, there's also just a tremendous potential and possibility. So I believe in, if we continue to partner between government, nonprofits, and industry, we can really transform how we manage our resources here in our community. And not just to survive the current crisis, but also just emerge in a more connected and innovative way. So looking forward to building this future together, and one where waste becomes an opportunity, and where our collective actions reflect the deep aloha that we have for our island and for each other. So mahalo nui loa, really appreciate it.
Thank you, and thank you for your company's good work. As you mentioned, waste management and taking items out of the stream actually helps, so thank you. Members, we have a procedural announcement before we start. Pursuant to Section 92-3.7 Hawaii Revised Statutes, this meeting will be conducted as a remote meeting by interactive conference technology with the following procedures in effect for the meeting. Members of the public will be allowed to provide oral testimony on all items on the agenda, either in person in the council chamber or remotely. As both English and Hawaiian are official languages of the state of Hawaii, pursuant to Article 15, Section 4 of the Hawaii State Constitution, and Section 1-13 of the Hawaii Revised Statutes, members of the public may testify in either language. For oral testimonies offered in Olelo, Hawaii, additional time, as may be necessary, will be allowed for the testifier to provide an English translation of their testimony. Before testifying, each person shall state their full name and the agenda item they are testifying on. Each speaker may not have anyone else read their statement and is limited to a 3-minute presentation on public hearing and new business items and a 1-minute presentation on all other items. For registered in-person testifiers, when your name is called, please proceed to the podium and begin by stating your name and the item you'll be speaking on. When I call for anyone who has not registered to speak in person, please line up to the right of the podium, and when it is your turn, proceed to the podium. Begin by stating your name and the items you'll be speaking on. All persons who have registered to testify remotely by video conference or phone will then be called. When your name is called, please monitor your screen and activate your audio feed when prompted. When I call for anyone else standing by remotely, please utilize the Zoom raise hand button to indicate your desire to speak. For those joining us by telephone only, please press *9 to indicate your desire to speak. The following are some friendly reminders and tips. Video conference from a quiet location if possible. If you are also watching the proceeding on Olelo, please mute your television when you are called to testify. When the timer on the screen reaches 0, please conclude your remarks promptly. For those who are joining us by telephone only, I will identify you by the last 3 digits of your phone number. When your number is called, press *6 to unmute yourself when prompted. HRS Section 92-3.7 requires all votes at remote meetings to be conducted by roll call, unless unanimous. Therefore, I'll first call for objections, and if there are any, I will call for a roll call vote. For those council members participating outside of the council chamber in accordance with HRS Section 92-3.7, the meeting will automatically recess if we lose audio-visual contact with you and cannot reconvene until we reestablish contact. Therefore, please announce beforehand if you'll be voluntarily signing out of the meeting. Written testimonies, including the testifier's address, email address, and phone number, will be available to the public as described on the posted agenda. As a courtesy, please turn off all cell phones for the duration of the meeting. For your information, the following resolutions published in public hearing notice on Friday, April 4th, 2025, in anticipation of committee action are not included in today's agenda. Resolution 25-100, confirming the appointment of Robert Cundiff to serve on the Liquor Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Resolution 25-101, confirming the appointment of Landon Kaneshiro to serve on the Police Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. The following council members are present in council chambers: Council Member Dos Santos Tam, Cordero, Wire, Okimoto, Nishimoto, and Tolba. The following council members participating remotely by video conference: Council Member Kia Aina. Council Member Kia Aina, in accordance with the HRS Section 92-3.7, please identify each person who is with you at your location.
I'm here by myself.
Thank you. Also present in the council chambers are legislative branch staff, members of the city administration, media representatives, and a special duty police officer. Floor Leader Cordero, introduction of guests.
Thank you, Chair. We just have members from our city administration as well as our neighbors. Mahalo.
Thank you so much. Approval of minutes. Vice Chair Wire, motion for approval of minutes.
I move that the minutes of the 5th session be approved.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members who are in discussion? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, the minutes are approved. Turning to the page, top of page 4, order of the day. From the Committee on Public Safety and Customer Services, Councilmember Okimoto.
I move that Committee Report 1 through 7 and Resolution 25-11 be adopted.
Second. It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Confirming the nomination of James H.E. Ireland, MD, to serve as the Director of Emergency Services of the City and County of Honolulu.
Thank you so much. Dr. Ireland, would you like to say a few words?
Thank you, Chair, members. I think we've had a good last 4 years, and I think we have a lot more to do in our department. You know, now that ocean safety is a freestanding department, I think it allows myself and our team to focus more on EMS and their needs. I just want to highlight a few of the things that we've achieved and accomplished, especially recently. Our personnel is at the lowest vacancy rate it's been in at least the last 10 years. We're under 15 vacancies in EMS, with a dispatch academy starting in June and an EMT academy starting in July, with 15 and 25 people respectively. So we will actually exceed our number of open vacancies. And we're looking forward to, the second point I wanted to mention is our expansion. And we will use, hopefully, added positions in the upcoming budget, either through our budget, which will include an ambulance for Kaimaki, and hopefully also some of the proposed council ads to fill with the added personnel to fill those ambulances in those other communities, which won't be enough per se for what the call volume is, but will be definitely a needed addition to what we have now. The other thing I just wanted to highlight is, you know, we received 13 newer remounted ambulances on a boat yesterday. We have 5 more coming within the next 3 months, and then within the next year we have 12 more coming, and that includes some that are in next year's budget. So 1 year from now, we will have 30 ambulances in our fleet that are under 1 year old. And that's unprecedented in our history, and I would challenge anybody to find any EMS agency across the country with comparable volume and ambulances to have a fleet all under 1 year. And it just goes back to supporting the hard work of the paramedics, EMTs, and dispatchers who work so hard for the city and county of Honolulu, our residents and visitors. You know, lastly, I just want to note that, you know, our paramedics are the only public safety group that doesn't have their own bargaining unit, not necessarily for this body, but for the legislature. They also are the only first responders who don't have steps, meaning the more time you spend in the department, the higher your pay is. So for instance, a paramedic with 30 years experience makes the same as a paramedic with 1 day of experience in the same job class. And so we have been, myself and our team have been actively engaging with our DPR colleagues, with the UPW who represent the paramedics to get an EMS differential for them, which I think will greatly enhance their working conditions and retention for us to pay the folks for their service, for their careers in EMS. So again, thank you for the time and the opportunity to continue to serve.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Dr. Ireland? Seeing none, thank you. We do have a number of registered testifiers, starting with Chu Lan Sherbert Kwok. Aloha, welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good morning. I'm very delighted to be here today. Say hello to everyone, and definitely to support Dr. James Ireland for his reappointment. I've been working in Chinatown for close to 30 years, and his work with CORE is very important to us, and I hope the council will continue to fund this very important project in Chinatown, because we have seen a great improvement in the number of people helped by CORE, and also our businesses thrive with this program. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Sonia Austin.
Good morning. Thank you for allowing me to come and testify. I'm in support of Dr. Ireland as the director for our next term. Having worked with him on and off for the last 25 years, our department has had the most growth under his direction. The work is really hard, and he's shown that he's up for the challenge. So I am in full support of having him as our director. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, remotely, we have Eddie Fujioka. Please proceed, Mr. Fujioka.
Aloha, my name is Eddie Fujioka. I'm a retired EMS district chief after 42 years of service and 45 years in public service. I've submitted several written testimony. I'll stand by that testimony. In regards to today's written testimony, there was an error that I'd like to make under the recent incidences under the unauthorized access into reports. The last sentence, I wrote loss of Social Security reimbursements. It should be Medicare reimbursements. Other than that, also, I'm here to testify in opposition of Dr. Ireland's appointment. I'll be available for any questions. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Members, any questions for Mr. Fujioka? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other non-registered testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one person in the chamber.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young from CARES, and voting to approve the resolution for James Ireland. So I read a few things online, and I think toxic work environment is not the fault of the director, and it's just learning procedures to learn how to deal with the negative complaints and to help improve positive atmosphere at the workplace. So I think there are distortions, and you can work in an office for 30 years and eat donuts all day and have a bad experience in the office and leave one day. And then, someone can work 4 years and have the ethic of someone who worked 50 years. So in the past few years, I've seen the director around, and the past 2 years that I've been going to community events and seen his work in the community in response to emergency management procedures. He communicates and educates the team and the community members very well. He is hardworking. He helps the team understand procedures. He initially worked with the crisis outreach response engagement team and facilitated the transition of the law enforcement approach to healthcare access approach, and to redirect emergency response resources appropriately is something I think the director
Thank you. Can I
has
ask you to wrap up your testimony, please?
a really good experience in. And yeah, he's really good at managing stress. So in strong support. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you, members. We're in discussion. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. And I want to thank everybody for joining us today. I want to express first of all, I want to express my deep respect for the dedicated professionals within the Honolulu Emergency Services Department. Their work saves lives daily and is vital to the health and safety of our communities. As we consider Dr. Ireland's reappointment, I must express serious concerns. My vote with reservations, so please note my reservations, reflects not opposition to the department's mission, but a need to address persistent issues that have gone unresolved for too long. Testimony from EMS professionals has consistently described a workplace culture marked by low morale, favoritism, and even retaliation, indicating a serious breakdown in the trust between frontline staff and department leadership. These issues have resulted in numerous unit closures, creating an over-reliance on our private and federal partners, as well as the fire department. Equally troubling are recurring billing failures. In 2022, a vendor transition resulted in a nearly 2-year delay in ambulance billing, costing the city millions in lost revenue. The lack of contingency planning reflects the broader issue of poor administrative oversight that puts vital services and public trust at risk. These are not isolated problems. They point to structural challenges that require more than piecemeal fixes. That is why I believe the city must seriously consider merging the Honolulu Emergency Services Department with the Honolulu Fire Department. Other municipalities have successfully integrated EMS and fire services to reduce duplication, improve coordination, and streamline operations. In Honolulu, fire and EMS often respond to the same calls, yet operate separately under different chains of command. A unified public safety model would address many of the operational and fiscal inefficiencies that have plagued emergency services for decades. This vote with reservations is not about any single individual. It is a call for structural reform. Our first responders and the public they serve deserve a system that works better, leads smarter, and delivers results. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you very much, members. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Aye. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Aye. Councilmember Okimoto?
Reservations.
Councilmember Talba? Aye. Councilmember Tupola? Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 137 and Resolution 25-11 has been adopted. Congratulations and thank you, Dr. Ireland. Moving to the bottom of page 4, from the Committee on Zoning, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Thank you, Chair. I move that Committee Report 125 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This conveys the recommendations on the review and evaluation of the Oahu Historic Preservation Commission pursuant to Ordinance 17-44.
Thank you so much. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting none, CR 125 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 5, Resolution 25-99, confirming the appointment of Linda Martell to serve on the Ethics Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha and welcome.
Thank you. Good morning. I'm Linda Martell. I am a retired family court per diem judge. I'm very honored to be nominated for this commission. I realize it's a lot of work, but it's very interesting, and I look forward to serving the city in this capacity.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, Resolution 25-99 has been referred to the Committee on International and Legal Affairs. Moving to the bottom of page 5, Resolution 25-102, confirming the appointment of Crystal Van Beelen to serve on the Citizens Advisory Commission on Emergency Management of the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha and welcome.
Aloha, Crystal Van Beelen. Happy to be here. I'm glad to be appointed. Look forward to continue working with the city and be of support.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, Resolution 25-102 has been referred to the Committee on Public Safety and Customer Services. Moving to the top of page 6, Resolution 25-103, confirming the appointment of John Uno to serve on the Building Board of Appeals of the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha, Mr. Uno.
Good morning, Chair Waters and council members. My name is John Uno, and I'm speaking on Resolution 25-103 on my appointment to the Building Board of Appeals. If I'm appointed, I'll endeavor to work with the Department of Permitting and Planning on appeals that may come before me in a fair and impartial manner. I haven't had a chance to meet many of you yet, but I want to thank you for your service and all of your hard work on behalf of the people of Honolulu. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Members, any questions for Mr. Uno? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, Resolution 25-103 has been referred to the Committee on Zoning. Resolution 25-104, confirming the appointment of Ken Fukunaga to serve on the Ethics Commission of the City and County of Honolulu. Aloha, Mr. Fukunaga.
Good morning, everyone. Just so you don't get the wrong idea, I just came from court, but I dressed up anyway. So I don't have anything else to add, but I look forward to serving on the Ethics Commission. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the nominee? Seeing none, Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, Resolution 25-104 has been referred to the Committee on International and Legal Affairs. Moving to the top of page 7, from the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 105 be adopted and Resolution 25-75 be referred back to the Committee on Budget.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
This determines the real property tax rates for the City and County of Honolulu for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you so much. I believe we have a few registered testifiers, starting with Natalie Iwasa.
Thank you, Chair. Good morning, council members. Natalie Iwasa for the record. I oppose this resolution, specifically residential A rates and the bed and breakfast home rate. You know, it was mentioned in one of the budget meetings that our median home price is now 1.1 million, but it was actually recently reported it's around 1.2 million. Threshold for residential A is only 1 million. So I think it's reasonable to say that half of the homes that are rented are now in residential A. We had, when residential A started back in 2014, 2015, there were about 7,700 properties. Coming up the next fiscal year, it's going to be over 30,000. That's a 300% increase in 11 years. Taxes for residential A have increased on some of the properties well over 100% in 10 years. And in my written testimony, I have examples of them, 143%, 133%, 149%, 137%. Guess what happens when you increase taxes on landlords? They pass that along to their tenants. That is why we have, one of the reasons we have among the highest, if not the highest, rent in the nation. And the city seems to be addicted to this tax because it brings in more proportionately than the regular residential classification. There's no tenant lobbying association, no tenant union coming, knocking on your door saying, hey, we're concerned about this. The mayor has pledged to keep taxes in line for regular residential homeowners who occupy their homes, but there's nobody saying, look what you're doing to residential A for the landlords and the tenants. This has to change. And I don't know what to do to have that happen because I've been saying the same thing for 10 years. This is not a good tax. It just isn't good policy. And I get it that you have some people who own, $2 million homes and you want to sock it to them because the city needs money, but this is not fair for our landlords nor for our tenants who get the tax passed on to them. So I ask you to change that. You still have time to reduce the rate for the first million and then go forward and get rid of some of those exemptions that cost us all millions of dollars every year. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifier.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I just want to state that I filed a disclosure of interest statement on Resolution 25-75, which has been filed as Council Communications number 112. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Councilmember Okimoto. Excuse me, Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I just had a quick question from BFS, if they're here.
I see
Director Quano. And as you come up, Director Quano, I just wanted to ask, are there any changes in the rates from last year? Or would these be the same rates in effect as last year's property tax rates?
Chair Waters, Honorable Council Members, Andy Kawano, Director of Budget and Fiscal Services. No changes from last year.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any other questions for Director Kawano? Seeing none, thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none. Any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 105 has been adopted and Resolution 25-75 has been referred back to the Committee on Budget. Thank you, members. Moving to the top of page 8 from the Committee on Zoning, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 126 and Resolution 25-24 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this grants a special management area major permit to allow for the construction of 2 new single-unit dwellings with attached garages in Laie, Oahu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina, remotely.
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto. Aye. Councilmember Okimoto.
Aye.
Councilmember Talba.
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola.
Excuse.
Councilmember Wire.
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 126 and Resolution 25-24 CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the bottom of page 8, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 129 and Resolution 25-80 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would grant an after-the-fact special management area major permit to allow for the retention of a previously constructed new single-unit dwelling with an attached garage, pool cabana, pond, driveway, and other improvements in Lanikai, Oahu.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero.
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina, remotely.
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto. Councilmember Okimoto.
Aye.
Councilmember Talba.
Aye.
Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire.
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 129 and Resolution 25-80, CD1 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 9, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 130 and Resolution 25-81 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would adopt a revision to the public infrastructure map for the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan area.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kiaina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 130 and Resolution 25-81 has been adopted. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 131 and Resolution 25-82 be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this adopts a revision to the public infrastructure map for the Ko'olaupoco Sustainable Communities Plan area.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have 1 person in the chamber.
Okay, please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, voting to pass this out in strong favor of the North Shore Sustainable Communities Plan because it contributes to planning efforts to also statewide goals, and as well as it will be a good thing while the urgent care center in Haleiwa is being developed. And as it goes through the development stages, I think this map, utilizing this revision process will be very helpful. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kiaina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters.
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 131 and Resolution 25-82 has been adopted. Moving to the top of page 10, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 132 and Resolution 25-91 CD1 as amended be adopted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would grant a special management area major permit to allow for improvements to the Hilton Hawaiian Village planned development resort master plan area, including the construction of a new hotel tower in Waikiki, Oahu.
Thank you. I believe we have 1 registered testifier, Rick Egid. Aloha and welcome. Can you push the button?
Oh, you'd think I'd know that by now. Sorry. Chair Waters and members of the council, it's my pleasure to be here to testify in favor of these measures. I'll cover both of them at the same time. This really allows for the redevelopment of the Eva Gateway to Waikiki, which has sorely been in need of it for decades. So this sort of fulfills a dream of mine to see this done. So I'm very pleased to work with the Hilton Hawaiian Village to come up with a very high quality development, which I think will do great things to enhance Waikiki and provide support for our economic infrastructure. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Mr. Egid? Seeing none, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have 1 other person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Angela Melody Young cares, voting to pass this out in favor of the resolution as the Eva Gate is being built in the Hilton Hawaiian Village. And this can really help with economic development in Waikiki. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. I do note the presence of the developers, their agents, and architects if anyone has any questions. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 132 and Resolution 25-91, CD1 has been adopted. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 133 and Resolution 25-92, CD1, as amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would approve a conceptual plan for a planned development resort project to modify the boundaries of the Hilton Hawaiian Village master plan area and allow for certain improvements, including the construction of a new hotel tower in Waikiki, Oahu.
Thank you. I do note that Rick Agid had registered to testify. He incorporated his testimony with this one. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you, members. Any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you very much. Resolution CR 133 and Resolution 25-92, CD1 has been adopted. Congratulations to the Hilton Hawaiian Village and good luck. Moving to the top of page 11, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 134 and Resolution 25-93, CD1, as amended, be adopted.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would amend Resolution 22-61, CD1, as amended by minor modification 2024/MOD 50 to extend the deadline to obtain a development permit for a single-family dwelling, detached garage, gym, swimming pool, and other improvements in Kahala, Oahu.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 134 and Resolution 25-93, CD1 has been adopted. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 135 and Resolution 25-95, CD1, as amended, be adopted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would grant a special management area major permit to allow for the construction of a new single-family dwelling with a detached garage, pool, pool lounge, pool cabana, concrete masonry unit walls, and rolling gate in Kailua, Oahu.
Thank you, Mr. Clerk. Do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Any discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 135 and Resolution 25-95, CD1 has been adopted. Moving to page 12, first reading items. Vice Chair Wire.
Move that first reading items listed on pages 12 through 15 of the agenda pass first reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Vice Chair Wire for the explanation.
Bill 30 relating to property tax, Bill 31 relating to the Transit Construction Mitigation Fund, Bill 32 relating to funds, Bill 33 relating to administrative enforcement, Bill 34 relating to administrative enforcement, Bill 35 relating to lease and rental of city real property, Bill 36 relating to fiscal stability, Bill 37 to amend portions of the state land use district boundary map from the agricultural district to the urban district for certain land situated in Haleiwa Special District, Haleiwa, Oahu. Bill 38 relating to ocean safety, Bill 39 relating to affordable housing, Bill 40 relating to fees, charges, and fines,
Thank you so much. Starting with the registered testifiers, members, I'm going to take testimony on all bills from page 12 to 15, and then we'll go into discussion. We have Tim Ashcraft from the Hawaii Credit Union League for Bill 30. Aloha, welcome.
Aloha. Thank you, Chair Waters and honorable council members. Again, my name is Timothy Ashcraft. I am testifying on behalf of the Hawaii Credit Union League, the trade association for 45 credit unions representing over 872,000 members opposing Bill 30. All credit unions are nonprofit financial cooperatives chartered under the Federal Credit Union Act of 1934 for the purpose of promoting thrift amongst members and creating a source of credit for provident and productive purposes. In the aftermath of the pandemic, the current inflationary and economic environment, affordable financial services are needed more than ever, especially by working residents and small businesses. Each credit union has a field of membership pursuant to the Federal Credit Union Act. Fields of membership can be occupation-based, such as employees of state or county government, association-based, such as members of church or a labor union, or community-based, living within a defined local community. Regardless of field of membership or asset size, all credit unions have nonprofit tax status because of their unique structure, purpose, and public benefit. As to structure, unlike for-profit corporations, voting power is greater. The voting power is with stockholders. With the credit union, that's the member owners are owners of the credit union, and directors are unpaid volunteers who are elected by fellow members and their credit union without use of proxy. As to public benefit, credit unions provide an alternative provider of affordable financial services, and again, especially in this time of economic and financial uncertainty, that is most needed. I know I have limited time, but credit unions should not be treated like for-profit financial providers because they are inherently different in structure, purpose, and public benefit. And again, due to this fundamental difference in structure and ownership, a tax on credit unions is a tax on its member owners. Mahalo for the opportunity to provide testimony opposing Bill 30.
Well, thank you, and thank you for being here, and nice to meet you. Members, any questions for the testifier? Seeing none, next we have Natalie Wasa.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wasa for the record. Thank you, Councilmember Cordero, for introducing Bill 30. I really appreciate that. I support the historical homes exemption change. That cost us about $4 million last year. The credit unions, I support that. Now, $500 increase per year. I mean, give me a break. Yes, that should actually go through. We should actually remove that exemption totally. Credit unions do not operate the same as they did when they were set up. I am a member of a credit union. I was making 0.5% interest. I moved my money out to a Discover Savings to earn 3 or 4%. I get offers to have a mortgage, way lower rates than what I get through the credit union. I also want to mention that please increase the minimum tax from $300 to $600 at least. I mean, it's been over 10 years since that was increased. And then somebody needs to look through all of these exemptions because I found a property. Bishop Estate owns it, corner of Hawaii Kai Drive, Lunalila Home Road. It's the recreation center for the Mariners Cove, if I may continue just a moment. They pay $300 a year, and that's a recreation center for the people who live in Mariners Cove. That property would have $67,000 a tax for this fiscal year if they didn't have that exemption. It is not used for nonprofit uses. So somebody should be going through these every year, taking a sample, making sure that the exemption is proper and that they're following the rules, because that is totally an egregious use of that exemption. Thank you so much.
Thank you. That's on Bill 30. Would you like to testify on Bill, I believe you registered for Bill 33, 34, and 34.
Yes, thank you so much. Natalie Wasa for the record. Bill 33 and 34 together. This is administrative enforcement of the land use violations, and there was the recent report of the short-term rentals, the city not collecting millions of dollars in fines. I wanted to ask you to look at this, the possibility of not allowing a permit to be granted, because there was one property in that report, I looked it up, they just had a permit approved for a detached deck. Now, this is a property that has almost $1 million in fines, and they had a permit approved. Now that should be used as leverage. We should be saying to them, hey, you want that permit, you want to do this to your home, well, then you pay the fines. We shouldn't be approving a permit when they have all those fines hanging out there. It just doesn't make sense. It's just like, yeah, it's okay, don't worry, don't pay. You know, maybe you're going through appeal, and maybe 4 years down the road, you'll get your appeal. That has to be fixed too. So I just ask you to look at that during discussion in committee. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Ms. Iwasa? Seeing none. I also have registered Shelby Billionaire. Not present. Any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, I believe we have a remote testifier, Ms. Talbot, standing by. Talbot, standing by.
Oh, that's correct. Eliza Talbot, please proceed. Ms. Talbot, are you there?
Aloha. Sorry, council members. My Zoom is acting strange. I just wanted to testify in support of Bill 35. Thank you so much for the opportunity. We think this is really important for the city to be able to more efficiently use city lands for community development, but also for economic development, especially in terms of supporting small businesses and entrepreneurs. And we really hope that the council will continue to have this dialogue with us throughout the process. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
Thank you so much. I believe Mr. Billionaire is back. Aloha, welcome. You're testifying on Bill 39?
Aloha, Pikachu Shelby Billionaire. I stand by my written testimony so we can get through. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, any discussion on any of the bills on pages 12 through 15? Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you. I know that we can hopefully hear these in committees, but especially for my Bill 30, I do want to note that if you notice the OCS transmittal time and date, that I've been sitting on this for a while, since October. And, you know, this was from looking to be a medium between one of my original bills that I had that is probably has died already, as well as our former colleague, Councilmember Say, who looked to repeal all of the property exemptions so that it could be spurring a discussion. So hopefully this spurs further things that we could maybe increase or repeal for real property tax exemptions. You know, when we did increase federal credit union, the credit unions back in the day when I was a staff member, I know that a discussion oftentimes was about equitability in approaching the different exemptions. And so I kept that in my mind for all these years and approached it in this manner. So I do want to take some time, if that's okay, to just explain what is being changed, because I don't know if we're going to have this moment in committee, if it gets held up or not, especially since we're going through the budget. There are repealed provisions for the real property tax, such as for crop shelters, exemption dedicated land in urban districts, slaughterhouses, qualifying agricultural improvements for dedicated vacant agricultural lands, and qualifying construction work. I know that I mulled over this over the past more than 6 months, looking at the different effects in how many properties there are, as well as the exemptions and the tax benefits that they got to come to that conclusion. Some amended provisions, real quickly, is having 60% of the land exempt instead of 80% for those for renewable energy, as well as making it 40% of the historic home instead of 50% for historic residential real property dedicated for preservation. And then, as mentioned by the testifier, increasing the credit unions from 1,000 to 1,500, as well as historic commercial real property dedicated. It will be now 40% of the real property value instead of 50, and then raising the minimum tax up $200 from $300, so it'll be $500. And I do note that I would have to look at the effective date change because I did think I was going to introduce this back in October, but I would probably have to make further amendments if it is considered. And with that, I do want to note not just the equitability, but also when these minimum taxes were set, these were during times, and also certain properties were placed with tax exemptions. We've moved forward from those 30, 40, 50 years, even when they were placed in these exemptions. So taking a look at it again is valuable. And so I hope that we can have a robust discussion about it if it is heard in committee. So thank you very much.
Thank you. Members, any further discussion? Councilmember Okimoto, followed by Dos Santos Town.
Thank you, Chair. I have three measures I'd like to discuss, and I'm going to kind of take them out of order. So for Bill 30, I just want to state that I filed a disclosure of interest statement on this bill, which has been filed as Council Communications number 114. And for Bill 40, I also filed a disclosure of interest statement on Bill 40, which has been filed as Council Communications 113. And I want to go back to Bill 36, and I was wondering if I could ask BFS a couple of questions.
Yes, please proceed.
If someone is here from BFS, I was wondering if I could ask just two questions.
Director Kawano.
Oh, aloha, Director Kawano.
Good morning, Andy Kawano, Director of Budget and Fiscal Services.
Thank you, Director Kawano. If you could explain, and if you know offhand, how much money is left in the balance of this fund currently? This is on Bill 36.
Bill 36? Let me take a look at that real quick.
This is relating to the Reserve for Fiscal Stability Fund.
Okay, we haven't taken anything out. As of June 30, 2024, we had over $160 million. We've put in the contribution for 25. There is interest earnings. As of today, I don't have the number, but I think we should have about 175 to 180 million dollars in that fund.
Do you know the last time this fund was used, and if so, for what purpose?
I don't think it ever has been used.
It never has been used. Okay. Okay. Thank you, Director Kawano. Thank you, Chair. I just wanted to share a few brief comments while we're in discussion, if that's okay, Chair.
Please proceed.
Thank you. So regarding Bill 36, while I understand the intent behind this measure may be well-intended and may provide administrative flexibility, it does raise important questions about the balance of fiscal authority between the council and the executive branch. The council plays a vital role in budget oversight, a responsibility that ensures spending decisions reflect the voices of our communities and maintain public accountability. While I understand the intent behind enhancing flexibility in managing public funds, particularly in addressing unforeseen needs or administrative efficiencies, I believe it is worth pausing to ask whether this bill shifts too much discretion away from the council's oversight. And I urge my colleagues to consider these implications as we move forward. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Members, any further? Oh, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam, followed by Councilmember Kia Aina, then Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I want to follow up on Councilmember Cordero's comments about Bill 30. I wanted to appreciate her approach to looking at these various exemptions, that many of which have not been updated for years. As you know, one of my projects here at the Council is to do various cleanup proposals. And for some of these property tax exemptions, there's nobody using them, or only one or two individuals using them. And they're very low amounts. And so I think this is a good opportunity to review each and every one of them, especially in the context of some of them being set years and years ago and the amounts maybe not being the right amount in today's context. I want to flag also, along the same vein of cleanup bills, Bill 38 is a cleanup bill for ocean safety, now that we have an ocean safety department. And then Bill 40 is another cleanup bill specifically amending fines and fees in chapters 1 through 13 of ROH. We'll be dealing with the other fines and fees in later chapters in a subsequent bill, but we wanted to start with the first quarter of ROH, which is chapters 1 through 13. Some of these fines and fees haven't been updated since the 1960s. The documents of conveyance and land descriptions from BFS hasn't been updated since 1965. That number's been stuck at $20 since then. If that were today, it would be $200 or $250. The medical examiner's fees haven't been updated since 1966, and there's numerous others. And so we took what we hope is a fairly thorough approach in cleaning these up. And furthermore, I just want to put in a flag for Bill 35, the city lease provisions. Again, I really think that this is going to be transformative for the downtown Chinatown area if we can get this done right. The city has dozens of these empty storefronts in the area, and right now we've set up a fairly cumbersome process for anyone who wants to get into these spaces. Anyone that wants to open a vegetable or fruit stand, a bodega, a restaurant, has to go through procurement, whereas if they were to talk with a private landlord next door, they could get the keys the next day. And so it's very difficult for us to activate these spaces, and we're leaving money on the table in terms of rent and leases to the city and doing a disservice to communities like Chinatown. And so I think that this is going to be a positive thing, and just wanted to get that on the record. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Kia Aina.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to commend Councilmember Cordero for Bill 30. I know she's been working on it for a while, and it's something that I care about. I do believe that the current system is antiquated. And if we're asking all taxpayers as individuals and families to pay their fair share of taxes, I believe that a lot of these exemptions need to be revisited. I believe that there's abuse in certain categories, especially the historic preservation category. So I'll potentially be looking at amendments to this measure, but I'm looking forward to a dialogue both at the Budget Committee as well as hopefully a permitted interaction group. So I just wanted to commend Councilmember Cordero for opening this dialogue again. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I wanted to also commend Councilmember Cordero on her work on Bill 30, a cleanup measure. Would just note my reservations, not discounting the work that's gone in, just in reviewing the testimony of the Farm Bureau and also the Credit Union League. I'm empathetic to both of the reasonings they put forward, but definitely think it's something they could probably be worked out in committee at some point. Just to speak to, and I guess explain Bill 36 a little bit more, really it was just ensuring that the city's able to respond immediately to emergency situations as they're arising. I mean, I know we've all already reviewed Mayor's Message 58, which is the most recent 10 million or such that we lost in federal funds. I think we're in a pretty good space. And so I think as a body, we want to ensure that we're presenting stability to the community, but at the same time, I want to make sure that there's no doubt about how serious we're taking this situation, that we do see it as a serious situation. The Fiscal Stability Fund ordinance is outlining situations that warrant the use of those funds, including different types of emergencies. And so understanding that we're already at a point where we're seeing instability in the community, in government, I just want to, I would hope that there's agreement in this body that that's not the question. The question is how to present that stability to the community, that we're going to be here till the very end, standing up for them. Hopefully an end where we wake up from this dream that we're in, but just wanted to comment on that. And then 37, also some reservations, because I think there's outstanding questions about the particular use for this property. I know the neighborhood board has talked about the parking maybe being a use, there's the housing project, and then of course there's the potential ag use, which is its current zoning. I think those are all questions that need to be ironed out. And of course, my interest is if it is gonna be a conversation about housing, what the layout would be, right? Because of course, there's questions that came up in neighborhood board about what the affordability ratio would be. So just noting reservations on Bill 30 and 37. Thank you, Chair.
Reservations? Okay, thank you. Any further discussion, members? Councilmember Nishimoto.
Thank you. WR for Bill 30, please.
Noted. Any further? Councilmember Tolba.
Okay, reservation on Bill 37. Thank you.
Bill 37. Okay. Mr. Clerk, please take note of the reservations as mentioned by council members. Any further discussion? Councilmember Okimoto.
Are we doing the vote now? Are we going to go through the vote again, or should I just say my measures that I have?
Go ahead and proceed.
Okay, so I just please note my no votes on Bill 30 and 36 and reservations for Bill 40. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Cordero.
Reservations on Bill 37.
Thank you. Okay. Members, because there is an objection to Bill 30 and 36, it will require a roll call vote. Without objections, we will first consider passage of the balance of first reading items as a group. Is there any further discussion on the balance of the first reading items, noting the reservations that you've already declared? Noting no objections and reservations as formally declared, Bills 31, 32, 33, 34, 35, 37, 38, 39, and 40 pass first reading. Now, on Bill 30, we have to take a roll call vote. So roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
No vote, please.
Councilmember Talba?
No reservations.
Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Reservations.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 7 ayes, 1 no, and 1 member is absent.
Thank you. Bill 30 passes first reading. Moving to page 14, Bill 36. Roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
I'm sorry, aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
No vote.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 7 ayes, 1 no, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. Bill 36 passes first reading. Members, moving on to page 16. Page 16 from the Committee on Budget, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 106 be adopted and Bill 60, 2024, CD1 as amended pass second reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to sewers, drainage, and cesspools.
Thank you. Members, we have a number of registered testifiers, starting with Carl Dix. Aloha, Mr. Dix. Nice to see you. Followed by Shelby Billionaire and Natalie Iwasa. Yes.
Hello. Yes. I'm from Wahiwa, Whitmore Village area, and landfill has come up recently, and I've actually worked in the sewage plants here in Honolulu. I've been a resident here in Hawaii for 37 years. Our sewage system and our sewage infrastructure is failing. We keep building bigger, 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 and it keeps failing more and more. It's going to fail. We need to look at new ideas, incinerators, individual homes. We can eliminate the cesspools completely, and we can eliminate a lot of the garbage flying down the roads, out of the trucks. It's not just the landfill. It's everything that goes along with it. We need to look at different avenues. We have new technology. We're not in caveman days, and that's what the cavemen do, just bury their trash. And their sewage we can't keep polluting Hawaii, our oceans. We need to take care of it. And the problems are much easier on an individual house basis than all the houses. And Mayor Blangiardi, he keeps bringing up millions and millions and millions of gallons of sewage. What would you do about it? Well, if you have one drop, you can stop it there. If you have a whole bucket load, what are you going to do with it? The infrastructure idea is a failed idea, and our country and our state needs to go a different direction. I yield.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Shelby Billionaire. Aloha, welcome.
Aloha, mai kako, Honolulu City Council, chihu. O Pikachu ko inoa, no makali mai ao no ho ai. Wainai, best side, chihu. My name is Shelby Billionaire, live for all of you on Zoom and everyone. I'm against and proposing this bill because it's talking about poop. Last time I was here was a 270-day commercial loan. The bugger own was across from me, and I had no idea what a 270-day commercial loan is instead of the 30-year bond, which is normally traditional. However, you get these guys come around all the town meetings, all the town halls, and you look at the price. $110, 9% cumulative for the next 9 years comes up to $244. 110 divided by 244 is a 244% increase. Used for the prices they didn't increase. They're trying to justify all these fines based on poop. Like Carl already said, how do you convert the poop? You got those methane stuff. You can convert the poop to sulfur, to bullets. Chinese did it. That's how they got gunfire and gunpowder. You got to be creative how you're going to turn the waste to something more significant, because I have the answer for you solutions right here. Tommy Waters, the chair. I brought a solution for you guys. You can have copies. I only have one. How Singapore is doing it, Switzerland and Japan, to convert their waste to energy, because we live on islands. Thank you very much. Aloha.
Thank you. If you could leave that with the clerk, I can make copies for the rest of the council. Thank you. Next is Natalie Iwasa.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. I oppose this bill. First of all, it's unfair to the residents of Hawaii Kai because you are using now general funds to help pay for this. Decades ago, Kaiser was told, you want to develop out there, you build your own sewer system, you build your own wastewater treatment plant. Hawaii Kai residents have been paying for that for decades. Using general funds to support the sewer fee is unfair, and it's just not right. You've talked about 100% increase in the fee over 10 years, but what about the residential A properties? I bring that up again. In my written testimony, I have examples of Hawaii Kai properties, increases of 187% down to 100%. So where's the outcry about that? Where is it? It's not existent except for just me. With respect to using these general funds, I'm really concerned that you're gambling with our bond ratings. You're just throwing the dice and hoping that those rating agencies don't decrease our bond ratings, because if they do, our interest rates go up. This is so irresponsible. And the director of BFS said he strongly recommended against it, and you folks just disregarded that. I have hardly ever heard administration say anything that they strongly support or strongly oppose. You need to heed that advice. We're lucky to have Dr. Babcock. I just really appreciate the information that he provided to me personally with respect to the history of this. So if you go back and look decades at what happened here when the Clean Water Act came into place, the city blew it. They blew it. They did not take advantage of grants that came up with the federal government. And then they thought, well, we can just do whatever we want because we're out in the middle of the ocean. Well, that's not the case. And now you are basically doing the same thing when you say, well, we're taking away all those increases, and here, city, you figure out what to do with that because we don't want to have these increases coming to our residents. That is a problem, because we are here today because people didn't want to do the right thing when they had the opportunity. So yes, now we have to increase the rates. I don't know if 9% is the right number. I don't know if 3% 10 years down the road is the right number. But I leave it to you folks. You've got to put something in there and take advantage of our excellent team who are putting together good information for you folks. So I can't stress enough that we have to have more equity, and we can't be making policy that relies on people to pay for something that, that they already pay separately for, or telling residents, yeah, we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna reduce those increases so you can go on and think that you're not gonna have to pay for stuff. It's just not good policy. So please amend this bill going forward. Thank you.
Thank you. Members, any questions for Ms. Iwasa? Seeing none. I also have Ernest Lau registered to testify, as well as Don Sakamoto. Is Mr. Lau here? He signed up remotely. Mr. Clerk. Oh, aloha, welcome.
Hello, I'm Erwin Kawata, Deputy Manager of the Board of Water Supply. We stand on our testimony on this particular bill. We provide printing services for the City Department of Environmental Services, and we do need about 3 to 6 months lead time from the time it's approved so that we can make the adjustments, computer adjustments to the billing. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for Board of Water Supply? Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have Mr. Sakamoto standing by remotely.
Oh, that's correct. Please proceed, Mr. Sakamoto.
Good morning, Chair Waters, Vice Chair, and council members. Donald Sakamoto, Kaneohe resident. I'd like to thank my council member Esther Cayena for giving me information at the Kahalu Neighbor Board last week Wednesday on this important bill. I'm very not in support of this bill. This is very damaging for people on fixed income, our elderly, kapunas, those who have to endure these high fees. Years ago when I testified at City Council for other bills, as a son of a 42nd veteran, I stated that if we increase the fees, I don't want to be too broke to go for broke anymore. So, a lot of people are leaving the islands because there's too much taxation and too much increase. So we need to do better efficiency in finding other funding, either federal grants, transit accommodation tax, or what happened to the COVID money if we could have used that. But please, I recommend that we do not pass this bill, same as well as most of the testifiers that testified earlier today. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we are in discussion. Councilmember Tolba.
Chair, I'll be voting with reservations. I understand and align with the concerns of the administration and the public regarding our bond rating. So voting with reservations. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. Please also note my reservations on Bill 60.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Any other discussion? Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I just have a question for E&V. Just in general, if the council weren't to do anything except ask them to lower the percentage, like what can we do? Like if we had to force them to do it. Director Babcock. Oh, sorry.
Thank you. Please proceed.
Yeah, Roger Babcock, Director, Department of Environmental Services. I'm sorry, Councilmember, could you repeat the question?
Okay, so my question to you, Director Babcock, is let's say you were just instructed or mandated to lower the percentage that was being implemented for this year and the out years. How would we do that?
Yeah, thank you for that question. So we've been in discussions with at the Budget Committee meeting earlier this month, and we've also proposed some additional, some new potential rate schedules for consideration. I assume those will be discussed at the next budget meeting, which is April 29th.
Thank you. And can you state if there's a deadline again for when the full increase has to take place by?
Yeah, so we've proposed a 10-year rate package, which would begin in FY26, which would be July 1st, out through 2035. There is flexibility in terms of when rates, rate increases start, and that just affects the amounts needed in each year. There are different ways to arrange the percent increases in the various years in order to meet our revenue requirements.
Thank you. So Director Babcock, just to clarify, we can amend when we can start, but we can't amend the date of when we implement it by, which is 2035.
We do need rate increase in each year of the next 10 years. in order to meet the revenue requirements for the program. That includes operation and maintenance, debt service, and capital funding.
Is the revenue requirement restricted by a deadline of when we have to get to that revenue increase?
We need to get a rate increase approved for FY26.
Is there a deadline on, you said it's a 10-year plan to get to the increase. Is that a set deadline by us only or by the city, or is it a set deadline set forth by someone else?
Someone else, yeah. So the operations, the budget for environmental services for wastewater side consists of a few different components. One of them is debt service, and so that is, outstanding debt, just like it's separate debt from the general obligation bonds. And so we have a schedule of debt service that we already know about for all the existing debt that needs to be paid each year. We have operation and maintenance costs. So there are different revenue requirements for each year out through 2040, where we have all those numbers. It's not the same each year. The different years have different revenue requirements, and so there are different ways to get to make sure you have the right amount of revenue in each year. And then the rate package is, what we do is we smooth out the rate increases over the years in order to make them more even. As opposed to if you just follow actual revenue requirements, because projects are required to be done by certain dates. And so if you just go with the raw requirements for our projects, then you'd have some years with only needing a small percentage increase and other years where you need 15 or 16%. So the rate packages that we work with, we generally try to smooth it out so they're more even. So hopefully that kind of answers the question. So in terms of, the obligations are outstanding debt. Those are obligations that don't go away, as well as all the operation and maintenance costs.
Thank you. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Members, any other questions for the director? I have a few. Just doing my research, it appears that ENV's operating budget between 2019 and 2024 lapsed $226 million. That's 12.39%. Can you explain why, briefly?
Yeah, so we budget, the budget is created based on positions that we have assigned, to the department. Some of those positions are unfilled. I'd say a fair portion of the lapse has to do with unfilled positions in the department. We have currently there's over 300 vacant positions. So that's a large part of the lapse. There are other operation and maintenance costs, which are estimated conservatively. We have to buy chemicals, fuel, and electricity and many other things. So there are estimates of those, and sometimes those come in under budget. We don't err on the other side where we run out of money at the end of any year. Instead, we tend to budget such that there is money left over at the end of the year. That money is in the sewer fund, so it remains there and available for future years, both in operation and maintenance as well as cash-funded capital projects. And we can use that cash instead of borrowing in some cases, as long as you maintain proper balance to cover all of our outstanding debt. And that does then potentially, it reduces future increases, and that's all programmed into the rate study that we produced. And that's the basis for the rate package that we've programmed. I would point out that we have in our rate projections, we have gone back and we've reduced our operation and maintenance program budgets by 10%. To essentially would eliminate this lapsing that you're referring to over the next 10 years. So we've shaved it down to be much closer to the historical lapse rate that you've pointed out.
In addition to the $226 million lapsed in the operating budget, ENV also lapsed $574.4 million in the CIP budget, which includes $135.4 million lapsed in Sand Island CIP projects alone. I guess what I'm asking you to do is figure out a way that we don't have to burden our residents with what amounts to a 100% increase in the sewer fees over the 10-year rate package, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. So the rate package includes about 115% overall increase. That's sum total of all sources of sewer fees. Not every customer will see the same rate increase. The rates are composed of a base charge and a volumetric charge. That's all classes of customers, single family, multifamily, and non-residential, meaning industrial and commercial. They're all based on a base charge and a volumetric charge. So your sewer fee increase that you'll see depends upon how much water you use. Low water users could see as little over that time period than in the existing proposal of about 70%, and some folks will see much higher increases if they use more water. So it is correct that those are the needs for the program to complete all of the work that's necessary, which includes refurbishment, upgrade, replacement, as well as you noted, the large Sand Island project. In terms of CIP, the lapsing is a little different than operation and maintenance is. Capital projects, when it lapse funds, that really means that appropriated funds were not encumbered. And so it's not money that was collected. Generally, these are projects that get delayed or something of that nature that accounts for those lapsing. So it's not actual money spent. It's money that was not able to be spent for various reasons, contract delays, protests, et cetera.
Thank you. Members, any follow-up questions? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. Mahalo, Director. I just wanted to make sure I understood the big picture, because I know we've dived into a lot of specifics. So what I'm hearing is all of us are wanting to bring down the burden on our residents by not dramatically increasing their fees. I'm hearing you say that we have to have a self-funding sewer system to comply with our bond requirements and the attestations we've already made. And so we've also talked about how to implement a rebate program. Is that something that you think could work, or how would that fit into this picture?
Yeah, thanks for that question. So I think we've basically just had really preliminary discussions about that. It does sound interesting, and we'll have to check with bond counsel and do some more evaluation to see whether that's the feasibility of that. On first blush, it's something worthy of additional discussion.
Okay. And just to clear, your understanding would be like you have the sewer fee structure, and then if we had a general funded rebate program, we could replenish that every year and even alter the criteria to provide maybe a rebate for residents to bring down the impact that they're feeling and bring down the cost without actually intruding into the sewer framework, right?
Yeah, that's what's been discussed and should be discussed further.
Okay, mahalo. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion or questions for Dr. Babcock? Seeing none. Thank you, Dr. Babcock. Appreciate your hard work and the difficult position you're in. But the fact of the matter is, members, what Bill 60 as originally proposed does is increases our sewer fees 100% over the next 10 years. What CD1 does is, that came out of Budget Committee, lowers it to 4% for the next 10 years. Now what happens is, I'm asking the administration to figure out, using existing funds, how to make up that difference. For all of us living here, we pay the highest rent in the nation. Our gas prices are high, our electricity costs are high, and for some people, a 100% increase doesn't matter. But as Don Sakamoto pointed out, that makes a difference to our kupuna who are on fixed income, who might have to choose between medication and water. How about our single parents who are raising children who don't have the money to pay for that? That concerns me. We can't control income tax rates, we cannot control the GET, but we can control this. And that's what I'm asking members to do, to find the money in the existing budget to offset the high rates that are about to happen. Now, you're going to hear from probably in committee that there are barriers, as you mentioned earlier, that it may affect our bond rate. But these barriers are put on by humans, and we can change those barriers. And we need to look at how we can do that. So thank you for your support at this point, but look forward to robust further discussion in budget as the process goes along. Taking note of what Board of Water Supply says, whatever we pass, folks, it cannot go into effect on, we need to give the Board of Water Supply enough time to retool their billing, whether it's 9% or 4% for this next year. Okay, members, seeing no further discussion, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Reservations.
Councilmember Talba?
Reservations.
Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 106 has been adopted. Bill 60-2024, CD1 has passed second reading. Members, it's now 12:15. I propose we go for a while longer. I'm afraid that if we lose Zoom, they won't be able to come back. You okay with going a little longer? Okay. Councilmember Aina?
Yeah, I'm going to be signing up for a few minutes and I'll be back shortly.
Okay, thank you very much. Moving to the bottom of page 16, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 107 be adopted and Bill 2, CD1 as amended pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to funds.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina? Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 7 ayes, 2 members are absent.
Thank you. CR 107 has been adopted and Bill 2, CD1 has passed second reading. Moving to the top of page 17, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 99 be adopted and Bill 21 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to the legislative budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. We have Natalie Iwasa registered to testify. Please proceed.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. Just some comments. I would like to reiterate my request that the legislative budget, that you folks actually put forth the information on the vacancies. What's good for the goose is good for the gander, right? So you've been asking the administration, how many vacant positions do you have? What is the status of them? How long have they been vacant? The public should have this information so that we can make sure that you folks are doing comparable things with your own budget that you're asking the administration to do. I mean, it's only fair. It helps, create a little more trust. It's transparent. It's holding yourselves accountable. It's creating integrity. You folks just need to have this. So I ask you to put that forward for the Budget Committee, and you can just do a communication so that it's available to the public. The other thing I ask is that you amend the cost for the expense budget. You have like, I forget what it is, $360 a month for a car allowance. Manini, I know, but you know, you guys had that big raise. It again just goes to credibility and leading by example, just reducing that and showing the public that there's some kind of a good faith effort there. So thank you for allowing me to comment.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, one other person in the chamber.
Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying in strong support of the legislative budget. And so the legislative source of funds from the General Fund, Solid Waste Special Fund, Housing Development, Transportation and Sewer Fund helps with sustaining the infrastructure as the City Council develops and builds the transient-oriented development plans, as well as it helps to contribute to the infrastructure of the Sustainable Communities Plan. So it's very necessary to work together to find a good balance in the legislative budget. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Seeing none, members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina? Absent. Councilmember Nishimoto?
Aye.
Oh, sorry. Councilmember Kia Aina, you're marked as an aye. Councilmember Nishimoto? Aye. Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 99 has been adopted and Bill 21 has passed second reading. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 100 be adopted and Bill 22, CD1, as amended, pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to the executive operating budget and program for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you so much. I do have 3 registered testifiers, starting with Carl Dix, aloha again, followed by Shelby Billionaire and Natalie Iwasa.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Actually, this could be combined with Bill 60, which talks about sewage. What I'm going to bring to light here is there's hundreds of millions of dollars being flushed through our court system through using homeless people's names. And HPD's writing citations, and they're shorthanded because they're so busy writing these citations. And there's money is literally being flushed, hundreds of millions, and it's all on the court record. I have all the files, hundreds of millions of dollars being flushed through our court system, writing citations, dismissing them, keeping everybody busy work, and we're complaining about, oh, we can't afford this, we can't afford this, but yet we can flush millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars through the court system on homeless people as a cash flow. This needs to be addressed before we pass any new budget. This needs to be investigated fully, and it's all on the court record. There's nothing to look for, it's right there. And if you can't figure it out, I'm a paid Just subscriber, and I can show you where to look. I yield.
Thank you, sir. Next, we have Shelby Billionaire.
Hello, my kako. Pikachu Shelby Billionaire is back to talk about money, honey. Bill 22 is talking about the budget. So when you look up the math, the average Kanaka, what is the budget for a city and county? Because we just had our committee meetings, and it was like, I don't know, Pikachu. Well, it's $5.14 billion, 3.93, 1.21 for capital improvements. I can count in Hawaiian. Ekahi, Elua, Ekolu, Eha, Elima, Eona. Oh, that's $6 billion. How the heck are you going to justify this? I ran it through Grake. Yes, I use Elon Musk and Tesla, but my representative ain't here. I called, I emailed, what bills can I support and resolutions? Zero response. So I'm here to represent myself and the West Side and the Best Side to please explain how you're going to break down $5.14 billion, justify the poop prices going up. I didn't even get into the rail because I'm going to save that for Bill 23 coming up next. You got employee benefits. If you look at my written testimony, your numbers are off. You got too many employee benefits. You got massive debt service. They're worried about the bond rating, and things are going to go up with the federal cut funds. So please explain to the community community what's going down. And just to let you know, for those watching, I do support this bill with amendments because they're just going to gas through it. Just say yes. Doesn't matter if you say no, because they're all going to say yes because it passed second reading. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Natalie Wassa.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wassa for the record. Just some, actually, I oppose this. First of all, thank you to DFM for replacing several signs on Lunalila Home Road recently. I was so happy to see it was just one gentleman out there who was doing hard work getting those up and fixing the faucet also at the park in East Honolulu. I oppose this because you're taking, I think it was 22 million in general funds and using them for the sewer activities. And, you know, to your comment, Chair, about the bonds, really the markets are in turmoil right now. We don't know what's going to happen, although we did see that the long-term bonds, the interest rates have gone up. And really, we cannot just be taking this lightly, because if that rating goes down, and it happens to be when the market is in turmoil, we could be paying a lot more in interest costs, and that's for everybody. So I ask you to tread carefully on that. With respect to a couple questions that came up in some budget communications, how can we make our road sweeping more effective? I just want to mention those street sweeping schedules should be made public. I asked for one a few years ago and I was told no. Under prior administration, I was told no. And you know, if people know when the street sweepers are going to come through, then they're going to make sure, if they can, move their cars. Also, those street sweepers should be maintained. Sometimes they just leave piles of debris because they're not properly maintained. So, and this goes to a lot of our stuff. Our equipment just needs to be maintained and then replaced when it's no longer feasible to repair those types of equipment, because that's just so important to keep things going in the city. Those are my comments. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Oh, we have one more. Please proceed.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying for the executive operating budget. And so I'm going to vote for this bill to be passed out. I just have only positive things to say about the council members and their work in developing the budget plan for the parks, and then also for the transit construction mitigation fund, and as well as to help with facilitating the homelessness in the community. And so I don't see the Aloha Stadium in here. But yeah, thank you.
Thank you. Any other testifiers? Seeing none. Members are in discussion. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. First off, great job to the Budget Committee Chair. I understand how it feels to go through the process. I do think that we should look at not just the certain positions and line items, but also removing funding from specific activities. If we are looking at further amendments or adjustments to different departments and agencies. Thank you.
Thank you. Councilmember Dos Santos Town.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. I want to talk about one aspect of our approach to budget this cycle, and it ties into your efforts on Bill 60 and trying to find, funds that can be utilized for meaningful purposes. One of the approaches that we took was looking at long-term vacancies, those over 3 years, and I'm pleased to learn that because of these efforts, a number of these long-term vacancies have indeed been filled, or the departments are actively under recruitment. So I'm very pleased to hear that. And of course, we support the city's hiring efforts and invite people to apply here to the city. I've learned that there's some concern and consternation about whether these cuts would in the end affect live bodies. And I want to make it clear that it's not my intention as a budget chair to cut warm bodies that are in these positions. I am very concerned that those rumors perhaps are going around. So I want to make that clear. That's not our intention, and we won't be considering that. And we look forward to seeing the department's responses to the CD1 and consider them in the CD2. Also in the CD2, though, we are going to be taking a look we are going to be taking a detailed look at these vacancies and other opportunities that we can use to ensure that city funds are actually being spent effectively. We spent a good amount of time talking about lapsed funds. That is funds that we as the council say you can go ahead and spend on these purposes. The administration in the budget process says they intend to spend it on X, Y, and Z purpose, which we agree to, and as it turns out, it never actually gets spent. And I think that as a member of the public, I would feel disappointed if I'm told that, we have millions of dollars lined up for these things, all very important public purposes, and it never comes to fruition. And so as we go into the CD2 portion of the budget, we're going to be looking at that very closely. So just wanted to get that on the record. Thank you.
Appreciate that very much. Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero? Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 100 has been adopted and Bill 22, CD1 has passed second reading. Moving to the top of page 18, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 101 be adopted and Bill 23, CD1 as amended pass second reading.
Thank you. Thank you. It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to the executive capital budget and program for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. I believe we have Natalie Wasa registered to testify, as well as Denise Antolini. Oh, and Mr. Dix, please proceed.
Thank you again, Mr. Chair. I'm not sure if anybody's read the city charter. It's set up to be the legislative, which is the city council, the judicial, which is the prosecutor, and the executive, which is mayor. And according to city charter, you guys are never required to meet in the same meeting and hash these things out. There's no accountability there's no cross checks. It's a defect in the city charter. Nobody's ever held accountable for anything. Nobody ever has to justify anything, just spend, spend, spend. And it's got to stop. We got to start working together. We got to hold each other accountable, and that's not in the city charter. Is the mayor here? Mr. Blangiardi, are you here? Is the prosecutor here? The one that all these funds are being flushed out through his system. There's no accountability whatsoever in the city charter. The mayor doesn't have to attend the council meetings. The council doesn't have to meet with the mayor. The prosecutor, he never shows up. That's a problem, folks. I yield.
Okay, thank you very much. Although I do want to note the presence of numerous department heads, including the prosecutor's office. Natalie Wasa.
Thank you, Chair. Natalie Wasa, just some comments. Well, first of all, I oppose the addition of the relatively short-lived assets. You folks moved in there some vehicles and some other things that don't really meet the minimum bond requirements. And I understand why you did that, because then you can do more stuff with the operating budget, but that's really not a good fiscal policy. Second, I wanted to clarify some comments I made at I think it was the budget meeting about the speed humps proposed for Hi'imanu. So the reason I said I have concerns about that is because as a bicyclist, in fact, it was over in Kailua, riding down the hill by the women's prison there, going downhill, there's a speed bump just near the bottom. So a bicyclist is going relatively fast, and I was actually afraid I was going to wipe out, because I don't know if there was construction or debris, but going that fast and then having that speed hump there is dangerous, actually, for bicyclists, motorcyclists, pedestrian, moped riders. So that's my concern. I also wanted to mention that, we had the report that EMS is slowed down by these speed humps. They're supposed to be installed in places where there's emergency.
Please come forward, Mr. Billionaire.
Hello, my kaku, Pikachu, Shelby, billionaire, back again. Oh, let me get my job. Okay, so I support this bill with amendments. You can see my written testimony I put on my Facebook, the G's account, Keiko Kalani, for people following on Zoom. You definitely have to cap the rail and freeze the bills for their $665 million because they got $1 billion in shady deals. You got to audit them, some in Doge. You got to lock in the housing bill so we can get the funding, eliminate the debt bonding service that we're talking about. Because if we're talking about, I know you guys are going to pass the second read no matter what I say, so that's why I'm supporting with amendments. You can put reservations, but you have to compare to other counties' budget. So I did the math, and I called Kauai people. They have no clue. I called Big on, they don't know. So what Kauai County's budget is $488 million. Hawaii County's $1.51 billion. Maui County's $1.512 billion. Here we are about just justify $5.14 billion. So you guys have a perspective. You guys have a similar model compared to Austin, Texas, and other places, and it's all in my written testimony. So I hope you guys are going to be very studious with the funds and not just write it off, put an Excel sheet, and say, thank you very much, 2026. Mahalo nui loa.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify? Angela Melody Young.
Angela Melody Young, testifying in strong support. The executive capital budget, I think, as I'm interpreting it, is about facilities construction and funding for sustainable designs and sustainable infrastructure. And to implement the budget to these facilities, I think it's going to be very helpful for community concerns, as well as to take into consideration statewide planning goals of the Aloha Stadium, and also what was produced by the city ordinance for the movie studio film facilities. And so to plan for the build out, and of course to take into consideration deducting congressional funds that are going to be helpful to paying for counties' financing options. For example, the Inflation Reduction Act, which helps with infrastructure and sustainable electrical upgrades and retrofit construction designs. I'm in strong support, and I just think it would be really helpful to take a peek at the state's budget, because the state has a lot of things that can help with this specific bill 23 for the facilities constructions. Thank you. They have $50 million for Aloha Stadium. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further testifiers? Seeing none, roll call, sorry. Members are in discussion.
Mr. Chair, we have
Excuse
we
me?
have a remote testifier.
One more remote testifier, please proceed.
I believe it's
Apologies. Aloha, this is Denise Antolini. Sorry, I missed the earlier cue. It's great to see everyone. I'm testifying in support of Bill 30, specifically the capital improvements line item for the North Shore Ocean Safety and Ambulance Unit. I want to mahalo the council. You guys have been amazingly supportive. We had a mayor's town hall last week. The mayor gave some very encouraging remarks, and it's wonderful to see his team and all of you working together to make this a reality. And with that, I'll let you get back to your long agenda. Thank you so much. Aloha.
Thank you. Any further testifiers?
Sir, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you. I have a question for, I don't know if we have Parks here, but it's a follow-up for Director Thielen's last statement to us during the budget relating to how there was or is $300,000 per council district for parks projects. And I couldn't find that specifically in our capital improvement projects program, and do not see it specifically in the operating budget as well.
Hi, good afternoon. Ted Hayden, Deputy Director for Parks and Recreation. To your question, so that's part of the TAT funding, so I'm not sure exactly where you're looking for that.
Okay, so to clarify, the money that the council put in maybe twice, once using the federal funding, and then secondly with general funds so that projects can be done quicker, is now being funded by the TAT.
Okay, I'm gonna have to look into that a little bit further for you and get back to you. I'm not
I tried to see that, and my staff broke it down, and it wasn't 300,000. It was like 277,000 per council district. If it was that actual item that isn't specific to the communications that was provided by Parks, it's like the last item of what it is, of what was listed in the council, in the communications, I should say, and. But yeah, it does not equal to $300,000 per council district if that's what it's supposed to be. And it doesn't say it's for each council district, as we specifically have in our budget provisos.
Okay, thank you. I'm gonna need to, yeah, I'm gonna need to check on that.
And you're gonna have to do it fast because we have deadlines. Thank you.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Aye. Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 101 has been adopted. Bill 23, CD1 has passed second reading. Moving to the bottom of page 18, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 102 be adopted and Bill 24 pass second reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this would authorize the issuance and sale of general obligation bonds and bond anticipation notes of the City and County of Honolulu in a maximum principal amount equal to the aggregate of the amounts appropriated in the capital budget ordinance of said City and County for the fiscal year ending June 30th, 2026, and specified in said ordinance to be financed from the proceeds of the sale of such bonds and to be expended from the General Improvement Bond Fund, the Highway Improvement Bond Fund, the Solid Waste Improvement Bond Fund, the Housing Development Special Fund, or the Taxable General Improvement Bond Fund.
Thank you. I do believe we have one registered testifier, Mr. Carl Dix.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I'll make it real simple to understand. We don't have a revenue problem, we have a spending problem. And this is like a drunken party full of drugs and alcohol, and we're gonna get loans to continue that party. There's no accountability for the funds being spent. We don't need more money, we need more accountability. We need to stop wasting the funds that we already have. Instead of selling our families, selling Hawaii down the river by putting up bonds as collateral, we need to get our spending under control, folks. Plain and simple. We don't have a revenue problem. The public is being bled dry, literally. And we keep asking for more, asking for more. We need to get this under control. We need investigations. The rail needs to be investigated. We need audits. Where's this money going? Nobody seems to know. Nobody seems to care. Oh, well, the mayor, he doesn't have to meet with the council. Well, the prosecutor, he doesn't have to justify what he's doing. Nobody's held accountable for anything. Oh, let's borrow some more money. Let's get some more drugs and alcohol. It's a wild party that needs to stop. I yield.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify?
Hello, my kako, Pikachu, Shelby Billionaire back. I'm representing the Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands and Honolulu Party, as my written testimony says. So I'm actually in support of this bill. When you went it through AI, typical Kanaka doesn't know Barry bonds, covalent bonds versus your bonds. So what we're talking about here, it actually looks good because it aligns with the quest for self-sufficiency, which is the bill's intentions, for those that actually read the bill about bonds. Now, the thing we have to worry about is you're going to finance more debt. When we're worrying about the debt-to-income ratio, your AA rating, and how it's going to be affect interest rates. With China, the tariff wars, so you guys have to prepare for in advance. The problem I have with these bonds, you're supposed to do a 30-year bond for the poop bill and all the sewage stuff. Instead of doing a 30-year traditional bond, which they were supposed to do, like this bill says, they went for a 270-day commercial paper loan to include the 9 facilities upgrade. And now they're trying to justify the prices and now asking for money through the same bill, through the same bonds. What kind of podegi system is this? I don't understand, even though I'm supporting this bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Anybody else wishing to testify? Saying none, members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Ainer remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 102 has been adopted and Bill 24 passed second reading. Members, turning to page 19, but I do want to encourage members of the public to look at our website, honolulucitycouncil.org. It lists every single bill on there, as well as testimony and memos from the administration. But I also want to maybe suggest that we look into creating a public access room, just like the legislature does, where people can access the bills right outside the door. I think that might be helpful. Okay, top of page 19, Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 103 be adopted and Bill 26 pass second reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation operating budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. I believe we have a number of testifiers, starting with Carl Dix, Shelby Billionaire, and Charmaine Valerio. Aloha again.
Lower the microphone.
Thank you. Thank you again, Mr. Chair. This rail project from the very beginning has been just a slush fund. There's billions missing that nobody's accountable. There's no audits. It's a boondoggle, it's a slush fund. And it's been run improperly from my experience. How does a state collect tax for the city and county? From the get-go, this thing has been a boondoggle, and it drives, I watch it every day. Now, over 90% empty. Why are we doing that? What benefit to the community is it? How's this helping anybody? It's just burning money, burning money, burning money. No, we need to stop this, audit this, and if it needs to be shut down, shut it down and stop it already. We're going bankrupt, we're going broke, and there's no accountability, as I've been saying. Where's all the money going? Huh? I don't know, it's gone. What was it spent on? I don't know. It's just a slush fund, and it's an empty train to nowhere. I yield.
Thank you. Next, we have Shelby Billionaire, followed by Charmaine Valerio.
Hello, my kako. Pikachu Shelby Billionaire is back again. This time I'm opposing this bill because of the rail $12 billion hole that goes to nowhere. They promised us it's going to help us get to Ala Moana to Waikiki, but the Dingalings got it to Croc Center Salvation Army. I'm from Waina. I had to catch the bus here, $3. It takes me from 6 o'clock, get up, catch the bus by 7 just to make it here by Friday 9 o'clock, because if I catch the next bus, I can't make it to your 10 o'clock meeting. I have to take 2 to 3 hours back home. That's 4 or 5 hours. If I catch the rail, that goes to nowhere. I still got to catch the bus back. Invest in the bus. We have the best bus system in the whole world. I love the bus. The kids ride the bus. You should reallocate the money to the bus. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next is Charmaine Valerio.
Aloha, my name is Charmaine Valerio, and I oppose the Honolulu Rail project. The cost has skyrocketed for over $5 billion, nearly to $12 billion, burdening a lot of our community members and taxpayers for years. The environmental impact is undeniable and a big disruption to our communities, businesses, and cultural landmarks. The rail system won't solve our traffic issues, as you see. It's limiting and ineffective for many residents. Instead of the expensive projects, we should focus on smarter solutions like improving our bus systems and investing on sustainable development, our children in agriculture, and also focusing on the ALOHA Spirit Law that we value. I think that's for now. Thank you for your support.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have Donald Sakamoto standing by remotely with his hands raised.
Okay, let's go to Don Sakamoto, then Angela Melody Young.
Good afternoon, Chair Waters, Vice Chair Wire, and rest of the council member Donald Sakamoto. I'm the person who deals with public transportation, Citizens for a Fair 80 Ride. I've been doing this for a long time, as most of you know. The city auditor did an audit on the rail system with the stations under DTS control. No bathrooms accessible, Title VI, no languages. And then, of course, the access way outside of the rail stations having potholes, pipes, and uneven cross sidewalks. That's a very ADA factor right there, since I deal with ADA as a disabled blind person. Also, pedestrian bridge at Pro City Highland. I've been advocating for this for a long time with Oahu Metropolitan Planning Organization, at the Pro City Neighborhood Board, with Director Roger Morton on the Rick Hamada show with Laurie Kaikina. Finally, we're going to get the bridge, but their projection is not going to be to, 2029. That's too long. People need accessible, safe. The mayor talks about public safety. I don't know. The rail is not accessible for persons with disability, even the kiosk machines. When you're blind and trying to use it, it's not easy to use. So there needs to be more emphasis for persons with disability, kupuna, and others that use the rail system. That's all I have to say, but there should be more investigation what's going on with the next phase. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying to vote in favor of this bill. So as I'm reading this, I think, if I'm interpreting it correctly, it's for the engineer team or administrative services and staff during the construction. And so as the state is going through their budget hearing, they have investments in the transit-oriented development, and I think as well as the HART build-out to provide for infrastructure planning. And although there are a lot of haters who don't want to see HART go all the way to Kaka'ako or perhaps to University of Hawaii, I think it's a really good bill to help with pushing forward these priorities within the HART train initiatives. And so I think one thing that is helpful to mention at this moment in time is that the state in Ways and Means heard a resolution for physical notes, which is a process to deliberate at the state how to take into account federal funds, as well as I mentioned, perhaps the county's funding structure, because it is providing for common goals such as the HART. And because the HART is one of the most anticipated projects that are going to require a lot of financial planning. So yeah, is my time up?
Yes.
Oh, okay, thanks.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members are in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 103 has been adopted. Bill 26 is passed second reading. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam.
Chair, I move that Committee Report 104 be adopted and Bill 27 pass second reading.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Councilmember Dos Santos Tam for the explanation.
Chair, this relates to the Honolulu Authority for Rapid Transportation capital budget for the fiscal year July 1st, 2025 to June 30th, 2026.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have one registered testifier for this.
Please proceed.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, my mistake. No, we do not have any.
Okay. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 104 has been adopted and Bill 27 has passed second reading. Moving to the top of page 20 from the Committee on Housing, Sustainability, Economy, and Health, Councilmember Wire.
I move that committee report 114 be adopted and Bill 28 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
It's relating to the collection and disposal of refuse.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Oh, I'm sorry. Natalie Wasa, please proceed.
Thank you. Yes, I thought I had registered for this bill. So this bill extends the deadline for implementing the food waste recycling efforts. And as I have done in the past, I expressed some concerns about that because the food waste, as you folks have defined it in the past, includes all animal waste, bones, meat, that kind of thing, excluding oil and fog. And I forget exactly what fog is, grease or something like that. My concern is that, you know, and it also includes recyclable, compostable food containers. My concern is that we're going to see more contamination in the bins. You know, we still have people who have the old containers. I mean, our household has them. I'm sure there are plenty of other ones that have them. And we just, you know, contamination is a big problem with respect to our recycling. I just went to an event this weekend where they had office paper and there were plastic bags in there. So if you're going to continue with this, you really need to do a thorough job of educating the public because otherwise I think this is going to backfire. Honestly, I don't think there are going to be very many people who are going to recycle their food waste anyway, because if you have to have that stuff, meat products, in your green bin for 2 weeks, I mean, that's a draw for flies, bugs, all that kind of stuff. So I just expressed those concerns. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody else wishing to testify? Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying on behalf of CARES for Bill 28. So without prior concurrence with any of the offices, I want to say that this is a good idea because it's contributing to recycling. And of course, as there are a lot of debates going on at the state about pollution, extended producers' responsibility to manage biodegradable materials, plastics. I think it's a really good time to be debating about trash and plastics and food waste. And so also in the community, they have the electronic recovery program helping with students with their community service training, which then also helps to create sustainable recycling infrastructure to help with the county's offices for trash and recycling purposes. So yeah, if this is not going to be a burden upon the office, I think it's a good idea, yeah, to help with recycling. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anybody else who'd like to testify on Bill 28?
Mr. Chair, we have Mr. Sakamoto standing by remotely.
Okay, please proceed.
Yes, Chair Waters and Vice Chair Wire, Councilmember Donald Sakamoto for the record. You know, I have relatives that have these worms that eat waste food and whatnot, even paper. So I'm looking to explore that so I can use my waste to make compost so I can grow my vegetable garden and whatnot. So that may be another source that I am trying to explore and others are exploring, have already done. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, any further testimony?
Mr. Chair, I believe that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 114 has been adopted and Bill 28 has passed second reading. Moving to the bottom of page 20, Councilmember Wire.
I move that Committee Report 115 be adopted and Bill 29 pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
Relating to affordable housing.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, I believe we have a number of registered speakers, starting with Shelby Billionaire.
Aloha, my kako. We are back at it again for Bill 29. So this talks about rental housing. For those watching on Zoom, when you just look at the agenda, it says one sentence relating to affordable housing. No Kanaka knows what the heck that means, but you're going to pass it through anyway. So I used AI, which I encourage everyone watching to use AI to translate this bill. What it really means in simple essence form is you're going to stretch out the tax benefits for developers for affordable housing 10 to 15 years. Sounds great, but we got a lot of rundown, nicest words, bad people running slumlords, doing some crazy stuff on the west side, I'm sure all across Honolulu County. I'm not sure how we're going to enforce these laws, so I do support this bill for the Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands and Ohana Union Party officially on the record. Thank you very much.
Thank you. We also have Andrew Pereira. Is Mr. Pereira available?
Yes, thank you, Chair. Andrew Pereira with Pacific Resource Partnership. We represent the Hawaii Regional Council of Carpenters, the 6,000 hardworking men and women of the Carpenters Union, in addition to 250 contractors across Hawaii. Stand in strong support of Bill 29. Not only will it bring the real property tax exemption in line with the affordable housing length of time mandate from 10 to 15 years, but it also provide additional financial opportunities to finance affordable and workforce housing projects going forward. And just wanted to add, Chair and members, that in addition to measures such as these, one of the surest ways to combat any possibility of construction price increases with the possibility of tariffs from the Trump administration in our future is to reduce the regulatory burden as well as the time that it takes to get permitting through for our home builders. So again, standing in strong support for Bill 29 and urge its passage. Thank you very much.
Thank you, members. Any questions for the testifier? Seeing none. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you, members. We are in discussion.
Please note my reservations.
Thank you. Any other discussion, members? Seeing none. Noting the reservations from Councilmember Nishimoto, are there any other objections or reservations? Seeing none. CR 115 has been adopted and Bill 29 has passed second reading. Moving to page 21, members, 21. From the Committee on Public Safety and Customer Services, Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I move that Committee Report 136 and Bill 13, CD1 as amended, pass second reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Okimoto for the explanation.
Relating to real property.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, I believe we have Natalie Iwasa registered to testify on Bill 13. Is there any other testifiers, Mr. Clerk?
Mr. Chair, that's the only registered testifier we have.
Okay, members, we are in discussion. Seeing none, any objections or reservations? Noting no objections or reservations, CR 136 has been adopted and Bill 13, CD1, has passed second reading. Members, it's now 1 o'clock. We do have third reading items, 1, 2, 3 third reading items, then resolutions. We could either take a break now or do the third reading items and take a break after that. I'll defer to the body. Councilmember Wire.
I do think the third reading items would be quick, and I know some folks are here.
Testify.
But we'd throw it out, of course, for the council.
Any objections to going forward, members? Okay, let's do that. On the top of page 22, from the Committee on Housing, Sustainability, Economy, and Health, Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I move that Committee Report 112 be adopted and Bill 14 pass third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
It's relating to the First Source program.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any testifiers?
Mr. Chair, we have none.
Thank you. Is there anybody who would like to testify who is not registered? Seeing none, members were in discussion. Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia-Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 112 has been adopted and Bill 14 is passed third reading. Councilmember Wire.
I move that Committee Report 113 be adopted and Bill 18 CD1 as amended past third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Wire for the explanation.
This is related to removing plastic bottles from our city vending machines.
Thank you. I believe we have a number of registered testifiers, starting with Deborah King. Aloha and welcome.
Aloha, Chair and council members. My name is Deborah King, and I'm a resident in Chinatown. And I have previously testified that I have a lot of environmental allergies, and one of them is plastic. And as I've been out trying to support my community and restaurants, I have noticed that it looks like some plastics are just repackaged. Like this, this spoon says it's compostable. Can we compost it? This plastic cup says it's a #1 recyclable, but I've never seen that we can actually put it in the blue bin. And then one of the North Shore restaurants says that it uses 100% biodegradable plant-based utensils and containers, no plastic. Yet this was the fork that was provided to me saying it's compostable. So I strongly support your bill. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Next, we have Natalie Iwaso.
Thank you, Natalie Wassa, for the record. So this bill does ban single-use plastic bottles in city vending machines. At the last council, I forget which meeting it was, the statement was made that it does not ban, but it says no single-use plastic bottles having a capacity 1 liter or less may be sold or offered for sale in city vending machines. You know, when we're looking at already recycling here on island for these bottles, I appreciate the intent, but really, it's going to be replaced with something else. And is that something else more costly or less recyclable? You know, these are things that we need to consider. So I don't support this. Thank you.
Thank you. Next, we have Nancy Caraway. Aloha and welcome.
Aloha, everyone. Thank you so much for listening to me. This issue is not only about our health and our economy and our environment, but it's also about our psychological impact to the massive issue of plastic pollution. I saw a film years ago, Sex, Lies, and Videotapes. I'll never forget one scene. Andie MacDowell was speaking to her psychologist, and she was very anxious and she couldn't sleep. And he said, "What is causing your anxiety?" And she said, "Every night I dream about mountains and mountains and mountains of garbage." And so I come to you with my own psychic displeasure about this very complex issue. And you have my, first of all, let me thank you all for letting me speak to you. You have my testimony. Let me say I strongly support this bill. Bill 59 was the maximum bill we ended, but this is very fair, and I do hope that you will support it on this final reading. And I have lots more to share with you, anyone who's interested. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Next, we have Don Sakamoto.
Yes, thank you, Chair Waters, for allowing me to speak. Donald Sakamoto for the record. I kind of oppose this bill because we have the blind vendors that was stated in the bill. The 3 vendors that sell these products, bottled water and plastic bottled water and everything. But in the Randolph-Shepard Act, an agreement with the courts in Hawaii, there was vendors that have vending machines that are not blind vendors, but some of the proceeds go to Ho'opono State Agency for the Blind. And that might be impacted by their revenue by having, these bottles by a price. People can't afford too much to pay for, like Councilmember Toba said in November on the previous bill. So it's going to add costs. There should be more emphasis on recycling. I do my recycling in my bottles, take it down to the recycle place. I don't get them very much, but there should be more emphasis on recycling and how we can use these plastics to make other items. And if possible, be beneficial for us to use like fencing so the termites don't rot from the weather. But my intent is to work with you on how to get the language in for these other vendors that have vending machines at different city properties. I know I believe the Parks and Rec, they're exempt, but other ones like the one in Honolulu downstairs, I always participate in buying my water or drinks over there and at a reduced fee. Kudos for the vendor for doing that, and kudos for you folks that have the vending machines down there. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Sakamoto. Next, we have Allison Kaolino Kaimana Yasuoka. Aloha and welcome.
Aloha. Aloha Chair Waters, Vice Chair Ware, and members of the Honolulu City Council. Mahalo for this opportunity to provide testimony. I do support this Bill 18 because if we look at the impacts of these plastic water bottles, I stand on my testimony because in my testimony I put a lot of documentation and data because I really do believe we need to stand on the data. And every year we're getting more and more plastic water bottles. I know that there's people that defend that those water bottles are recyclable and they can be remade into other things, but we're really not taking the time to do that. And Hawaii actually doesn't even have a recycling center here. So we actually have to transport all of this thing. If you look at the Hawaii Department of Health, you can see how it has to travel, and that also adds to carbon emissions. So please review my written testimony, which I stand upon, and mahalo for allowing me to support this bill.
Thank you. Next, we have Angela Melody Young.
Aloha, Angela Melody Young, testifying in strong support for Bill 18. So this comes at a good time because at the state they're debating the EPR, the Extended Producers Responsibility Act. And so within this policy, which is active in other jurisdictions, it helps to make producers responsible for their products throughout the life cycle, including after consumers use them. It helps to achieve and redirect recycling and environmental goals like recycling targets and encourage environmentally conscious product designs for single-use plastic biodegradable materials. And so if this Bill 18 can also take in consideration what the state is doing to help with recycling and to teach about environmentally friendly goals, and also help with the Disabilities Vendors Act, which is to assist in balancing the mandate for accessibility for practical realities for certain entities that are in the blind disabled vendors program, then the exemptions can really help with balancing a common goal for recycling.
Thank you.
As
Can
well
you wrap
as
up your testimony, please?
help with the disadvantaged business owners to implement something where we're all acting in favor of cleaning up the environment. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members, we're in discussion. Councilmember Tolba.
Thank you, Chair. I'll be voting no on this bill. I appreciate the intent, and we should be finding proactive ways to reduce, reuse, and recycle. However, I'm not convinced that the efforts to ban plastic bottles in our city-owned vending machines will translate to reducing our waste and improving its recycling. I do think that this will mean an increased price, especially to consumers, just to accommodate this bill. And I agree with Mr. Donald Sakamoto, so thank you, sir. No vote.
Thank you. Councilmember Okimoto.
Thank you, Chair. I would like to also express my opposition to Bill 18, 2025, which seeks to ban the sale of single-use plastic bottles in vending machines at city facilities. While I recognize the environmental concerns motivating this legislation, I believe the measure is largely symbolic and may unintentionally harm our local business environment. The scope of this bill is narrowly focused on vending machines located at city facilities. According to previous discussions led in this chamber, this would impact fewer than 30 machines across the city. Such limited application raises questions about the bill's overall effectiveness in addressing the broader issue of plastic pollution. Implementing this ban could inadvertently signal that Honolulu is an increasingly difficult place to do business. Small businesses are the backbone of Honolulu's economy, comprising 99.3% of all businesses and employing 51.6% of the local workforce. Measures like this, though seemingly minor, contribute to a growing perception of regulatory overreach that can stifle entrepreneurship and economic growth. If our goal is to meaningfully reduce plastic waste, we should pursue more comprehensive strategies that involve collaboration with businesses, investment in recycling infrastructure, and robust public education campaigns. Targeting a small number of vending machines does little to address the systemic issues at hand. To summarize, while the intent behind Bill 18 is commendable, its limited scope and potential economic consequences lead me to oppose it. We must pursue solutions that balance environmental responsibility with economic vitality to ensure that Honolulu remains both sustainable and business-friendly. Mahalo, Chair.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. I really at this point just wanted to mahalo the students of Holomua Elementary School, and of course all the students at all the schools we've talked to across our district. And I'm just so proud and excited that our youth, regardless of how the bill turns out, are really leading this conversation because they approach it with open minds, untainted by biases, and really are just interested in the data and bringing forward good ideas. And so I think the more we can encourage them to be a part of the process, the better. And I think really with all the problems we're facing as a community, I'm hopeful because I think they have capacity to understand the issues and create solutions. And I'm grateful for them putting forward this idea and think it is worthwhile. So thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you, Chair. I do want to thank our Council Vice Chair Wire for working with the students to put this forward. I mentioned in committee that, speaking with our students throughout this school year and talking about both the former bill as well as this bill, where it has been reduced to just vending machines, that it is something in the future that they would like to see as well. And these are kiki, right? And so I also do want to say that there is a balance that needs to be stricken relating to economic impacts as well as what could be possibly performative in showing what we're leading by example by. However, I don't think the impact is that great because how are we deeply impacting the economy of the plastic industry if we're not making an impact by having just 30 vending machines at the same time? So I think it's something worthwhile supporting, and it does give people the options as well. They can bring their own plastic bottles and refill it, or they can get it from a vending machine, or they can just bring whatever type of bottles regardless. But yes, supporting the bill. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion? Councilmember Wire.
Chair, I do believe we have someone, Gavin from DHS here to testify as well. He might have been passed over.
Okay.
If it's appropriate, I'll defer.
Yeah, please proceed.
Excuse me. I thought I registered outside, but thank you, Vice Chair Wire. My name is Gavin Abe. I'm Administrator, Ho'opono Service for the Blind, testifying on behalf of Department of Human Services Director Ryan Yamane. Appreciate the intent of the measure and included exemption for licensed blind vendors in our 3 city and county of Honolulu locations at the Fosse Building, Kapolei, and the Honolulu Police Department main station. I just wanted to clarify that in addition to those locations, I believe we counted that 56 vending machines throughout the city and county of Honolulu buildings, ranging from police stations, fire stations, wastewater treatment plants, Oahu Transit Services buildings, and even here, like Mr. Sakamoto said, in Honolulu. The income from the vending machines in the city location goes to, I guess, provide entrepreneurial opportunities for our licensed blind vendors, and the effect of not having the income from those machines will really kind of affect our licensed blind vending program. I appreciate the work Councilman Wire has done, in addition to Dr. Fox and the Office of Climate Change, Sustainability, and Resiliency. I'm available for any questions you might have. Thank you.
Members, any questions? Councilmember Wire.
Thank you, Chair. And mahalo for being here. Just clarifying, so are you saying all of those would be covered by the exemption? Is that your understanding?
Yeah, so basically the law for the Randolph-Shepard program in Hawaii says that all vending machines on county, state, and federal properties that don't have a licensed blind vendor, the income from those machines comes back to our program to support it. There is an exemption in HRS 10214G that there are certain locations that don't have the exemption. So public parks, state and county facilities designed and intended for use as facilities for entertainment and other public events. So things like the municipal golf courses, the Blaisdell, the zoo, those we don't have machines there, so they're exempted from the law, yeah.
Understood. So the income from what's sold in the vending machine, regardless of whether it's plastic, non-plastic, would go to you folks?
Yes.
And then the actual work of our blind vendors, they wouldn't be required to comply with the restriction as well. Is that your understanding?
Yes, so basically, so if there's not a licensed blind vendor in the building, like here at Honolulu, the income from the machines comes back to our program. And again, that income goes to support our program from various things, from the benefits to vendors, providing equipment, repairs, and other programmatic things for the licensed blind vending program here in Hawaii.
Okay, mahalo. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. No, that's so interesting. So if the machine downstairs is not operated by a blind vendor, how does that business sustain itself if all the income goes to the you?
So basically, like downstairs, we have a contract with a third-party company to run the machines, and then the income comes back into our program, yeah.
Oh, I see. Okay. Thank you.
So basically, any vending facility that has a licensed blind vendor, so like at Kapolei or at the Fosse Building, the vendors there, they have machines on site. The income from that goes straight to that licensed blind vendor.
I see. Thank you for being here. Give our best to your director.
Thank you. Appreciate your guys' time.
Okay, any further discussion? Seeing none, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kiainer remotely?
No.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
No.
Councilmember Talba?
No.
Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, there are 5 ayes, 3 noes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 113 has been adopted and Bill 18, CD1 has passed third reading. Moving to page 23 from the Committee on Planning, Infrastructure, and Transportation, Councilmember Cordero.
I move that Committee Report 119 and the findings of fact be adopted in Bill 24, 2024, CD2 as amended, past third reading.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Councilmember Cordero for the explanation.
To adopt the revised, this bill adopts the revised primary urban center development plan for the city and county of Honolulu.
Thank you. I believe we have a number of registered testifiers, starting with Shelby Billionaire.
Sawati Kap, Kapkuna Kap, Pikachu Shelby Billionaire. We're here live once again. I support this bill representing Kingdom of the Hawaiian Islands, 96792, Best Side, West Side, and also Ohana Unity Party as the chairman. According to the bill, it does some good stuff with some good work. I love to see it all working together. I know we're speeding through this. Some of the other bills, I didn't want to take up your guys' time, but I believe in Captain Planet. They taught me how to reduce, reuse, recycle. Like Augie Tobo says, we can be planeteers. We can change the world, make it a better place by working together. I know the budget's huge. State budget's like 21.5 bill. You guys got 5 point something billion dollars. That's only $26 billion. So I'm pretty sure that's a lot of money to play around with. My name's Billionaire for a reason, so I'd love to look at your budget and work these numbers, and we can beach barbecue to get all the 51 districts and 247 precincts together. Mahalo nui loa. Chiu.
Thank you. Next, we have Keholani Lum, followed by Allison Yasuoka.
Aloha mai kākou. I'm Kehaulani Lum, president of Ali'i Poahi Hawaiian Civic Club and a lineal descendant of Aiea. Ali'i Poahi is a 50-year member of the Association of Hawaiian Civic Clubs. I've come down here instead of going on Zoom because I wanted to thank each of you for what you have done to include the wishes of the Aiea community in this measure. We started out not supporting this measure, and now coming into the third reading, thanks to the work of the council member chair, beginning that work, and Chair Cordero, Vice Chair Okimoto, the committee, DPP, the community. This, I support this bill on behalf of the club. We support it with requests for some amendments that I hope are housekeeping because the narrative doesn't align with the map in some instances, so hopefully that can be addressed that way. But I want to thank you on behalf of the next generation because they are the ones who asked us to do this for them, to create the biocultural space. So mahalo nui loa.
Thank you. Next, we have Allison Yasuoka.
Aloha kākou. Mahalo for this opportunity to provide testimony. My name is Allison Ka'ulino Kaimana Yasuoka. I reside in Waimalu, Aiea, in a multi-generational home. I stand on my written testimony in support of Bill 24, CD2, today with suggested amendments. Today, we are all here to heed the kahea, the call elected officials and residents alike to hana kupono to do the right thing, not for ourselves, but for the collective, and for the honua, for the aina, and for this I am grateful. I stand with two mana wahine who have been fighting the fight in the protection of their communities, in the protection of ohana, and especially in the protection of aina. For over 25 years, Auntie Kehaulani Lum and her ohana and Auntie Claire Tamamoto spent 2 decades in the preservation and protection of their beloved place. I'm so touched, so blown away at their commitment and dedication to ensuring present and future generations will also be able to experience, build pilina to touch, support malama, and be a part of the communities and aina we hold dear. And in addition, please review my testimony. It holds the petitioners of 150 petitioners who are also in support of this, of preserving and protecting biocultural spaces. Mahalo nui.
Thank you. Mr. Clerk, do we have any other testifiers?
Mr. Chair, that concludes the testifiers.
Thank you. Members were in discussion. Councilmember Cordero.
Thank you. First off, I want to mahalo the former planning chair. We have Councilmember Esther Kia'aina for her work in taking the committee to the communities, our communities that were spans 5 council districts from Councilmember Okimoto's to yourself, Chair Waters, and having these hearings and so that we would be able to make informed discussions as we deliberate over the primary urban center. But I do also want to mahalo DPP because I know that we've been having these discussions for a very long time. I want to say I started going to these meetings in the community from 2017-18 or so. From Aiea to Kalihi or Kapalama, so it was really gratifying to actually see an actual document. And I do want to mahalo all the members for working with their communities and their neighbors to make meaningful amendments to this document. I do also want to note that this is a planning document, and so I do want to remind everyone it is not binding. Back in 2004, we had a specific document that showed what could be in 2024, up to 2024. It doesn't institute any zoning or any further restrictions or, I guess, binding guidelines, and that's done through other plans or especially zoning bills. And so this really is just a guiding document, and I really hope that we could look at it as such and as good reminders of, and when we look at it and when we work on it in 20 years, we can look back as to what we're able to grow, but also preserve. So mahalo to everyone, and mahalo especially to our communities. Thank you.
Thank you. Any further discussion, members? I just want to thank DPP as well for your hard work. I know there was a lot that went into this document, and it took probably years to do, so thank you, folks. Thank you to Councilmember Kia Aina, former chair of the Planning Committee, and current chair, Rady Cordero, for listening to the people and including those amendments. So I really appreciate that. Seeing no further discussion, roll call, Mr. Clerk.
Councilmember Cordero?
Aye.
Councilmember Dos Santos Tam?
Aye.
Councilmember Kia Aina remotely?
Aye.
Councilmember Nishimoto? Councilmember Okimoto?
Aye.
Councilmember Talba? Councilmember Tupola is absent. Councilmember Wire?
Aye.
Chair Waters?
Aye.
Mr. Chair, the 8 ayes, 1 member is absent.
Thank you. CR 119 and the findings of fact have been adopted, and Bill 2024 CD2 has passed third reading. Members, it is now 1:30. I'd like to just take a half-hour break if at all possible. We still have a number of pages left. So let's come back at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. Okay? Thank you, members.
Chair?
I'm sorry. Yes, go ahead, Councilmember Kia Aina.
I'm sorry, I will not be returning after the break. Just wanted
Okay.
to let you guys know. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye. We are in recess.